yourself 40 years from now. You're plagued with high cholesterol, high blood pressure. You struggle to write your name because your arthritis is so bad. You have sleepless night after sleepless night due to your sleep apnea. And on top of that, your list of medications you have to take just keeps getting longer and longer. Now imagine being informed you could have prevented it all. All of these things I just mentioned, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, sleep apnea, and many other things are all effects of childhood obesity. The good news is you can in fact prevent them later on in life by making good health choices now. So what exactly is obesity? The dictionary defines it as a condition characterized by the excess accumulation and storage of fat in the body. Well, what does that mean? What is that exactly? So they use the BMI or body mass index to determine if a person is obese. You can find charts of this on www.aap.org. Well, often doctors recommend not using this chart because it doesn't take your body type into account, it only takes your height and weight into account. And so if you want to look at other charts that are what I use, it's really handy, is www.healthchecksystem.com. Now that we know what obesity is, let's look at what causes this widespread epidemic. The first cause is often considered to be genetics, which means it runs in families. They haven't found a fat gene yet, but they have decided that it's probably genetic because poor health habits are passed from your parent to you. Like you watch what your parents do and you pick up their habits. According to Palo Medical Foundation, with a person who has one obese parent, they are 3 times more likely to become obese themselves. And if both your parents are obese, you're 10 times more likely to become obese. The second cause that causes obesity is poor eating habits. This is often because you have busy schedules, which you just run to McDonald's and eat fast food. You have less family meals together because you have busy conflicting schedules. Mom's busy, then dad's busy, and you're all busy at different times. And many schools have poor balanced meals and vending machines. The third cause is a lack of exercise. The habits of sitting in front of the computer, TV, and video games is becoming very high for students. Many schools are not requiring students to take physical education classes anymore, and more parents are driving their children to school because of safety reasons and also because school districts are becoming larger and so kids are living further away from schools and it takes longer to walk, so parents just drive them. At this point, you might be asking yourself, what really is so bad about obesity? Is it really that big of a deal? The answer is yes, it is a big deal because it has been proven to have lifelong health effects. The sad thing is, childhood obesity and teenage obesity not only affects the people when they're young, but it also continues to affect them until they grow older. According to Time's article entitled Lifelong Effects of Childhood Obesity, based on childhood obesity rates from 2000, they estimate that by 2020, as many as 44% of American women and 37% of men at age 35 will be obese. And according to the scientists that conducted the study, these people will not be only obese, but they'll also be obese and ill because of the fact that they're obese. Childhood obesity causes a number of illnesses that can affect them at any age. In other words, bad choices now affect your future. High cholesterol and high blood pressure are one thing that obesity can cause. When you're a child, you'll grow up and more than likely have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And these things can lead to complications such as stroke and a heart attack. Other effects of obesity as an adult is heart disease. And in fact, the study that I just talked about a few seconds ago, they published it in Time and they predicted that by 2020, the prevalence of heart disease will rise by as much as 16%, and heart disease deaths will rise to as much as 19% for people between ages 35 and 50 years old, and that is solely due to the fact that they're obese. The study showed that there was a direct correlation between a kid's BMI and the risk of adult heart disease. So as a kid's BMI increased, their chance of getting heart disease in an adult rose equally to it. Another effect is arthritis and bone and joint problems because all the excess weight causes you to have trouble walking in your knees and other bones, and it can affect your liver and gallbladder because you have excess fat deposits in those areas. Another effect is type 2 diabetes, and they used to think of type 2 diabetes as like solely an adult disease. They thought type 1 diabetes was usually juvenile and type 2 was adult, but now type 2 diabetes is starting to set in much earlier because the rate of obesity is going higher, so the kids getting type 2 diabetes is starting to rise. Another effect is sleep apnea, which is a disorder where when you sleep, your breathing pattern is messed up and it causes you to not get enough oxygen to your brain. And not only does it affect you when you're sleeping, but it also affects you during the day because it can affect your concentration and it can also affect your activity during the day because you haven't been getting enough oxygen to your brain. Obesity can also cause shortness of breath along with an increased chance of getting asthma. And it also has been proven to have mental health and depression issues way after your youth. Now that we've seen all the negative effects of obesity, how do we go about preventing it? One way to help prevent it is to make healthy food choices. One way to do that is to eat breakfast daily, which you probably all heard since you were young, but making healthy choices at breakfast, not just sitting down and eating breakfast, is also important. Reduce your calorie and fat intake and watch your portion sizes. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat family dinners together because it's been proven if you eat family dinners together, you're going to sit and you're going to talk and it's going to take longer to eat, which means you're going to eat less. Avoid eating fried foods and avoid watching TV while you eat because if you're sitting and watching TV while you eat, you're going to eat more. Another way to prevent obesity is to just stay active, limit your TV and computer and video game time, walk rather than driving, and make a point to exercise. I know you guys at school have to take gym, but 30 minutes a day for 4 days a week is what's recommended in order to be considered staying active and exercising the proper amount. Now imagine with me one more time. It's 40 years from now, but this time you have made healthy decisions and managed to stay at a healthy weight by eating right and staying active. I would like to encourage you to keep this information in mind rather than waiting 40 years from now and wishing you had. Staying healthy is a lot of work and often very inconvenient, but believe me, I'm sure that the you 40 years from now will appreciate it. Thanks.